Sorry. Hare Krishna. Welcome back, everybody. So that looks like you are on holiday break, right? Most of you are on holiday breaks.
Maybe.
So here, like until this point of time, the conversation between Arjuna and Krishna is don't give up your duties, work, perform your duties, and first of all, he encourages Arjuna to perform duties. He convinces Arjuna, Krishna convinces Arjuna that doing your duties is more beneficial for you. And secondly, he convinces Arjuna that how to perform your duty without attachment for the results. And finally, he says that Nishkama Karma Yoga means right from the beginning you perform duty without any expectations of the results. Okay. And all of a sudden, how come the topic or like no, there is a change, like right? Like we're talking about karma, how to perform karma, all those things. Now, suddenly the lust came into the picture. So how it happens, okay? So now Krishna is speaking about how to perform your actions and everything like that. And then all of a sudden what happened? Arjuna asks questions. So before that, we'll discuss like what is spiritual life or what. Bhagavad Gita, like when we are discussing Bhagavad Gita or applying Bhagavad Gita in our life means we are focusing on our spiritual life. What is spiritual life? Spiritual life is not something we show externally, not the dress, not the attire. That also makes the difference, because see, somebody who is wearing some devotional dress cannot do some grievous sins like going into the pubs and like that. So even the dressing and all those things, the external things also influence our consciousness, but most importantly is our internal consciousness. So there are two ways of controlling the in the existence: the internal control of the internal world, control of the external world. Internal world means controlling your own yourself, and controlling the external means controlling the situation, how you command over the situations around yourself. That is external control. Internal control means how you command over yourself, your senses, your mind, intelligence, and all those things. So, and one thing like more than external control is internal control. When you are internally controlled, you have more command on your self, then you will be able to do the external things. You will be able to manage the externals more effectively. So here, like now I give the example of Alexander. Most of you might have heard. So Alexander, right? He is from Greece and all. So he set out for conquering the world. His goal is I have to conquer entire the world. So before going, he went to take the blessings of his guru Aristotle. Aristotle says, if by chance if you happen to reach India, you can bring one valuable thing from India. That is one saintly person. Can you bring one saintly person from India, or learn from saintly person and bring from get here, like that he says. So Alexander, he conquers all the Iran, Iraq, all those things, and then finally comes to India. After coming to India, he actually, before entering into the India, he thinks of knowing about India more. So he sends out his messenger to go and see, like India is like a land of saintly persons. Go and look for any saintly persons. So his soldiers, they go and search for look for saintly persons, and they comes to know that one sadhu is sitting in a sitting somewhere and then meditating, and then they goes to them and then request him. Alexander the Great has come. He wants to meet you. Please come. He says, I'm not coming anywhere. If he wants to meet, he asks him to come to me. He says like that. So Alexander, he, basically that sadhu is in the kingdom of Alexander because he already conquered that kingdom. So he thought, how dare. And he already develops some angry on that sadhu and then goes to the sadhu. And then he was simply sitting, meditating. Alexander comes and makes some noise, like some people announces Alexander coming. He didn't even recognize that. He didn't even acknowledge. And Alexander comes there and he says, no, do you know who am I? What do you think of yourself? Like that he asked. And this sadhu asked, no, yes, I know you, who you are. Then let me know who am I? Like, no, what you know about me? Tell me. Like that he asked. And sadhu simply says, you are the servant of my servant. Means it's the greatest insult for the emperor. He says, then immediately Alexander is about to take out his sword to cut off the head of this sage. And Alexander has a habit. Before killing a person, he will first inquire. He will first confirm his decision, especially if it is not in a war. So, and before killing that sage, he says, no, okay, you said I am the servant of your servant. How you can say that I am the servant of your servant? Then the sadhu says, my anger is my servant. I become angry when I wanted to become angry. Means I control the anger, but in the case of yourself, anger is controlling you. You are controlled by anger. Means anger is my servant. You are the servant of you are the servant of anger. In that way, you are the servant of my servant. So then Alexander thinks, oh, this person is some little bit intelligent. I should be learning from him. So he calms down a little bit. And he says, no, like, what are you doing? All this, like doing nothing, simply sitting and doing, you're not any productive. There is no use. There is no use to others because of you. You are just sitting and doing nothing. And this says, like, okay, what you are doing? Yes. No, I set out on a mission to conquer the world. I have conquered so many kingdoms, this kingdom, that kingdom, so many soldiers I have, so much wealth I have accumulated. Then this sage says, okay, after conquering all this, what will you do? Then after conquering the world, what will you do? What are you going to do? And Alexander says, no, I'm going to go home, get onto my throne and relax and enjoy whatever I have got. Then says, yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting on my throne and sitting, enjoying. So Alexander mentality is how much more I need to accumulate so that I can be happy. And this sage mentality is how much less I can have, still I be happy. Means many things we don't need, but we go for that. Means conquering the externals, conquering the internal. The sage has conquered the internals, means his mind, senses, and intelligence, while the Alexander focused on conquering the externals. So, like it is said that Alexander the Great, right? Why this title Alexander the Great is given to Alexander? You have any idea? Not because he has conquered the world, because of his realization later on. Because there are many conquerors who has conquered. There are many conquerors who has conquered the world, who has done a lot of bloodshed and all those things. But they are not given the title as great. Why? Because Alexander is given the title Alexander the Great because he later on realized that this external conquest is useless. So later on, he came to India. He was contacted by malaria, And then he started going back to his home country, Greece, or I don't know this hometown. So, and on the way, he is becoming sick and sick, and he was not, his physicians are not able to help him. And he says, no, see, I have conquered whole world, but I'm not taking a penny with me. So my only request is you bury me with my hands open from my grave. So if anybody who comes to see my grave should be able to see my hands. Alexander the Great, even though he has conquered the entire half of the world, he has gone without taking a penny with him. So what it means is we come with nothing, we go with nothing. So in the middle, we take a lot of anxiety in accumulating, lot of anxiety in showing ourselves how great we are, how powerful we are. So that's how. So and there are many stories also, like for example, the story of Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra was the king of the. He was ruling a vast kingdom, and Vasishtha was a simple seer sitting in a hut, like ashram. And Vishwamitra was defeated by Vasishtha, and Vishwamitra realized that this kingdom, this princely status, this power, these armies are of no use compared to Vasishtha, one Brahmarshi, one Brahma yogi. So he just gave up everything and went on meditating. He performed very severe austerities. Of course, he failed in many attempts and finally achieved success. And he thought external things are of useless because Vasishtha Muni, simply sitting there, he defeated all the armies of Vishwamitra and totally humiliated him. So this he got the realization that external conquest, external things are of no use. So he started meditating and he started focusing on internal realization. So for one to be peaceful in this world, and for one to grow in this world, and for one to achieve great success, everlasting success in this human form of life, one should have this internal vision. Like when you come across any disturbing situation, we have to step back and take a few minutes and then sit down and calmly see, why am I getting disturbed? Why am I getting agitated? What is it disturbing me? Like sometimes when somebody criticizes us, we become very much pained. Or if somebody is more like if we are good at in one field, like for example, we are a nice singer, or a nice dancer, or nice programmer, nice manager, and some other person is doing better than us, some insecurity develops in us, and in all those things, in all those dealings in our day-to-day life, even with the family, with the friends, with the colleagues, in the spiritual and material circles, we should always have this internal vision, always looking into our mind, what is happening there, looking into our heart, and how we are thinking, what is my thinking process, what am I going to achieve through this thinking, why am I getting pain, means sometimes when we are dealing with some devotees or some friends, we might feel bad, and when we don't think, we show that disappointment in someone else who has nothing to do with. Like for example, if somebody is upset in the family, he'll come and shows in the office. If somebody is upset in the office, he'll come and shows that anger in the family. So that kind of balance we lose. So when we have that internal vision on our thinking, on our why this anxiety is coming, what is bothering me, why disturbance has come into my heart, when we analyze, when we go back, what is root cause, what is the cause of this anxiety, what is the cause of that, means when you go back, we'll come to the one root cause, one problem, and think, is it so valuable? Like for example, you might be disturbed due to some reason, like for example, somebody promised you to do something, and if he didn't do, and you got into some difficulty, and you are blaming that person, you are developing some angry on that person, So, and you have to go back and think now, like, is there any way I can manage? Is there what is the root cause of my anger, like that? So that is called internal vision. Means like the yogis and sages, every minute, every second, they have this internal vision. Means they will be looking every thought there that is coming into their mind with the action, with what is their consciousness, what thoughts are coming into my mind. Means is it for in the favor of Krishna consciousness or against the principle of Krishna consciousness? If it is against, why am I acting? Why am I developing the tendency to act against the Krishna conscious principles? So that is the nature, that is the quality of a devotee or a person who progress in spiritual, who wants to progress in spiritual life. So until we develop such a consciousness, we cannot conquer our internal uh, internal our mind or senses. Okay, and here in this section, Krishna says, what is what happened? Okay. So Krishna says the enemy of the spiritual advancement is lust. The arch enemy of spiritual advancement is lust. One should curb the lust by following the rules and regulations that we discussed in this chapter. Okay. So in Bhagavad Gita 3.34, it says that the principles to regulate the attachment, raga and dvesha, pertaining to the senses and sense objects, one should not come under the control of these obstacles in the path of self-realization. Means, see, like what is lust? Lust arises due to attachment and aversion. Attachment to the objects of sense enjoyment means, like if some sense object, maybe some position, something eatable, something gives us pleasure, that is object of sense enjoyment. Too much of attachment to that object of sense enjoyment, and if something obstruct that object of sense enjoyment, means like if you are attached to doing something, but someone comes and says don't do that, then we immediately develop anger on that person. So attachment and aversion, these are the main factors in like no instigating the lust. Okay, so based on this attachment and aversion, Arjuna asks Krishna, what is the reason why this kind of papa vrutti, means like for doing sinful actions, develops in the jivas. See, sometimes we know that what we are doing is wrong, but we helplessly do that. So this might be different. That may vary to different persons or different levels, based on their ashram, based on their maturity, based on their consciousness. Something what we think it is, oh, it is great sin for us is something which is very normal to somebody. So like that. Now, but for us, something which is not very normal might be very grievous, very serious thing for a more advanced person. So Arjuna generally asks this question: what is it? What is that force that impels us to perform this, the sinful action? So here now we are dealing with karma. Karma is performing action. So what is the greatest enemy of this karma yogi, a person who is engaged in the process of karma, is this is what we are talking about, the lust. So now Krishna says the kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudva mahashuna mahapapma vidhi enam iha vairinam. Krishna says lust, which is born of mode of passion, when unsatisfied turns into anger, is all devouring sinful enemy of the world. Means it is lust only, Arjuna, which impels that to perform the sinful actions. Some, as I said, sinful might be different for different person. Okay, so based on our advancement, we should actually become more and finer and finer. Means like initially initially if a person who doesn't have a spiritual background, who is not trained, for him to eat meat, to tell lies, to indulge in intoxication, all those things are very common practices. But a person who is actually started practicing Krishna consciousness and started taking it seriously, just I want to advance in my spiritual life, and one who understands the purpose of human form of life, one who takes up the spiritual life seriously, for him those activities are grievous sins. Means like for example, meat eating. If you take meat eating, if you go outside and tell to any person meat eating is very sinful, he'll find this person is crazy. Meat is food. Eating food is why it is sinful. So like that, all the jivas are pure souls by nature. All and but due to their forgetfulness, due to their consciousness being covered, like as I said previously, right, everything is the property of God or Krishna, and everything is only belongs to Krishna only, because the fact we know is we came with nothing. When we came here, everything is properly arranged. Before we come, everything is properly functioning, and while we are here, everything is properly arranged, and after we leave this world and go also, everything is properly arranged. Means somebody is working, somebody has already done that. And the scriptures and authorities, like great sages say that is everything is the property of Krishna, everything is property of God, and everything belongs to him. So, and a soul in its spiritual original consciousness, it is fully dedicated in loving service to Krishna. So, but when it forgets Krishna, and if it wants to enjoy independent of Krishna, it is sent into this material world to enjoy, and then its intelligence will be covered by the material modes of nature. Means it will not be able to see Krishna, it will not be able to directly experience Krishna consciousness. So then if you see here, like if this intersection where where one person is going higher towards Krishna consciousness, while the other person is coming due to attachment, the attachment will lead to pride, like I am the doer mentality and I am the enjoyer. And if that position is threatened, then it will it will lead to false pride. And if the false pride is threatened, it will develop to anger, and it will develop to lust, greed, and all those lower things. So basically, this every jiva has this minute independence. Means like as a servant of Krishna, like servant means like not like a servant and master relationship. Like a child is a servant of father, right? Like not servant means child is in loving service. Like he is subordinate to father, and father is providing everything for the child, and child is also getting everything from the father. But father is happy to provide everything to the child, and child should be always in a friendly disposition towards the father. So that is a loving relationship. Service, love means is equal to, as I said, love means service. Like love should be expressed through service. So, and Krishna is expressing his love to us through the service of maintaining this world, maintaining, giving everything to us. Our mother and father did not actually, made a design and gave birth to us. It is Krishna who gave us this body, who gave this life, and our mother and father are the medium through which we came into this world. Okay, so when we understand that we already have a loving relationship with Krishna, but we, out of our false identification, now due to our forgetfulness, we identify ourselves, we totally ignore that fact, and we try to enjoy. When a living entity, when a soul try to enjoy independent of Krishna, it uses its little bit of like every jiva has minute independence. Every Jiva has the control over material nature. Like, for example, a person can control his family, his surroundings, his office, at work or at like so everyone has such he can control some lower animals, plants, even the material energy he can cover a little bit, like if he has the properties, he has a control over that nature. So like that, even a child has a control over certain things. So every living entity has specific control, either lower or higher. Like even the animals also have control over plants. Now plants also control over certain things. So every living entity has control over some domain. Means it has some free will. And this free will is given to the living entity based on how nicely it is using the free will. For example, I told you the story of the son and four sons and a father, right? You remember that? Huh? So actually, a father has four sons, and he was thinking to retire. So what does he do then? He calls his sons and says, "Okay," but he wanted to allocate this property to the sons based on their capability and they based on their responsible nature. So he calls to the sons and said, "Okay, I'm going to give you this, like for example, $1,000 or something like that, and I will ask you after 1 month, and I will see how you spend this money." So, like first son, he actually spends the money in the same day, single day, goes and party with the friends, and the second son, he actually, he gets he thinks he spends it responsibly. And third son, he takes that and saves the money in one box, thinking that father is going to ask how I am spending it. I will not spend this money at all. So he thinks, he takes it the money and then puts in a box and then locks it. And fourth son, what does he do? He goes and he invests that money where he can get more profit. So after 1 year, father asks the sons, and first son says, "No, I have spent that money on the same day. I thought you gave it for my enjoyment." And second son, he says, "No, oh father, you, what did I say? Second son does? Okay. He spends, he purchases some essential things. No? So he says, "No, I have bought these things like that." And third son says, "Father, whatever you have given, I have saved it," and gives $1,000 and gives $1,000 and was proud about his thing. And fourth son, he actually brings with $10,000. "Father, I have invested the $1,000 that you have given me, and now I got the profit of $10,000. Now this is a profit." So this cannot be in terms of dollars. It is said that grains, he gives few grains, and first son just throws it away. Second son uses some cooking for some cooking or something, and third son, he actually stores them safely. Fourth son goes and plants them, the grains, and he yields the crop, and he gets a truckload of the grains. So then what is based on their how they spend, father also divides. Now for the first son, he gives for the fourth son, who actually invested it properly, he gives his entire wealth, and he makes the second son as an accountant. He has a good propensity to keep it safe. He's not tempted by the money, so he makes him as accountant. For the third son, who actually purchased responsibly, he make as the in charge for purchasing, like managing things. And fourth son, he just makes you assist all those things, means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. So means like based on our free will, how we use our free will in this lifetime, our freedom, our free will is increased in the next life. See, everybody in our present position has the power or authority over certain things. The amount of people you influence, amount of knowledge that you can acquire, amount of spiritual or intellectual power you have, All those things are acquired due to our good karma, good conduct. So based on how we use our free will, it can be either increased or Father will give more. If you're not using it, whatever we have given properly, then Father will either give the same thing or less. So in the same way, when this free will is misused, then it will lead to more and more degradation. When we use this free will properly, then we will get more and more elevated. So, and this, like now, how we are using this free will is based on how much our consciousness is free from this ignorance of lust. So the lust is the covering, which actually, so I will define what is lust. There is two terms, lust and love. Can you define, anybody, like what is the difference between lust and love?
The extreme part of love is called lust.
Extreme part of?
Love. If you have more of anything, desire for anything more extreme, it's called lust.
Anybody have any more definition?
A desireful thing, I want to say.
I think love is given to anyone without any attachment.
Okay. And lust?
And lust is your desire to get something back more and more.
Okay. Usmata, you are saying something?
That's like you want something no matter what, and it is very conditional.
Mm.
And love is unconditional, you care for something.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
So
I will say what Jayamata said. She said lust is something conditional, means we put a lot of conditions. Love is something unconditional. Okay. And what is your definition, Prabhu?
actually lust is like, you know, it is a physical and a sexual attraction to the another person.
Physical
Loving,
attraction to another person. Okay.
yes. So physical love is other hand, like, you know, it's a broader concept. It's kind of like, you know, it's a two minds reads and a deep emotional connection.
What is love, Prabhu?
It's much a deeper concept, like, you know, it's a deeper emotional connection between minds, not like, you know, physical attraction.
Okay, okay. It is love is based on the heart, not about the physical attraction.
Yeah, yeah, heart. It's emotional connection between two people.
Okay, Apura Prabhu is saying love is lust is materialistic and love is spiritual. Okay, yes, Prabhu. Chepandi, you need any definition of lust and love? Both are? No, don't worry about. No, you just tell whatever you have known, so that no. See, then we can when we express whatever we have known. See, like these definitions are all actually partially correct and partially based on different perspective. Actually, yes, bro. Go ahead. What is saying? Love is state of mind. Okay, and lust is physical attraction. Yeah, okay. So yeah, like now, like seeing the different things and knowing the definition from different sources, like movies and novels and all the stories and all like around our surroundings, we come to these conclusions. Love is something means love is physical attraction. Love is a heartful attraction, and lust is something based on physical thing. So, but what Shastras describe is love means something which is related to Krishna, and lust means other than Krishna, everything is lust. Means like, for example, if you engage anything in the service of Krishna, means your you are dealing with that object in loving devotion to Krishna. Lust means if you want to enjoy anything independent of Krishna's service, because everything that we see around us is everything belongs to Krishna. That is a fact, right? Everything, any material, physical, persons, everything is the property of Krishna. Everything is property of God. So Shastra says anything that is engaged in Krishna's service represents love. Anything that is not engaged in Krishna's service is lust. Means the same object can be the cause of love for you, or the same object can be the binding lust for you. Family is there. If you think that this is the family of Krishna and I'm taking care of it, and it is my service to take care of the family as a service to Krishna, then that family is on the level of love. Means it is a loving offering. That family is a loving offering to Krishna from your side, as a service in taking care of the family. But if you think this family is for my enjoyment, this family should be like what I like, not what Krishna likes, then that is lust. Means not like physical thing, not mental thing, not all those things. That is the definition, authentic definition of what is lust and love. So based on that definition, now Krishna, there are 3 degrees of lust. Means the types of ignorance, how what based on one's ability to engage or reciprocate or be conscious of Krishna. Based on that level, there are 3 degrees of lust. The fire is covered by smoke. That is 1 degree of lust. As a fire covered by smoke, as a mirror covered by dust, as an embryo covered by the womb. The fire covered by the smoke is the slightest lust. Means the lust that is present in the basically human beings. Human beings can be easily trained in Krishna consciousness. To educate them, to bring into the level of a Brahmana, to develop the Krishna consciousness is easy. Because why? Because of their consciousness, because they have developed consciousness. So that is the minimal degree, and it can be easily overcome. That kind of lust, that kind of ignorance can be easily overcome. And the second type of lust is mirror covered by the dust. Means if a mirror is covered by the dust, like if the smoke is fire is covered by the smoke, you just have to fan the smoke, fan the fire, and smoke will go away and fire will manifest. And when the fire manifests, smoke will go away, right? So you don't have to do any physical contact also. But when the mirror is covered by the dust, then you have to physically do this. You have to take water, wash the mirror, and clean the mirror, so that it will reflect. It will show its original nature. It will show that original quality. That is in the animals. So even the animals with proper training, with proper only thing that we can do animals is give it prasad, so that it can in the next life at least it will become Krishna consciousness. So basically, and third level is as an embryo covered by the womb. Means means embryo is fully covered by the womb, right? Like if you see, when embryo is in the womb of mother, it's fully covered by the, and it has layers of you don't even see the embryo, but embryo is still there in the womb or in the seed. So that is the third level, means the intense, that is in the plants and trees. So there the ignorance, the lust or the layers of ignorance are very high. Even you can by no means, unless you are a greatest of great devotee, or you are only supreme personality of God, Krishna can be able to revive that consciousness. So the condition jivas in this world are caused by any of these 3 kinds of lusts. Okay. So even if in the humans also, one person might have that consciousness of lust on the level of animal. Some other person may be on the level of trees also, because due to their conditioning, due to their actions, their consciousness is so dull, they're as good as animals or trees. It's like what is the difference between the conscious and the unconscious matter is how much they are able to use that consciousness. If you see somebody who is just drinking, eating, sleeping, and taking alcohol and sleeping all day, it is as good as a dull matter, right? He's like, no, always intoxicated, always nasha. He's as good as dead person. Somebody who is too much of passion and ignorance, that kind of person is as good as an animal. Means like he doesn't even think like what is happening around us. He just wanted, he want to enjoy, he'll just enjoy. He wanted to do sex, he'll go and do sex. He wanted to eat something, irrespective of it is eatable or not, he will eat, he will drink alcohol, eat, do all the illicit illicit and things he will do. So that kind of person is as good as an animal. So, and the person, there are some persons who might not have that consciousness, but who might not be totally spiritually fearable, but when we train them, they can easily be cultivated. They have human consciousness. That's why scriptures say first you have to become human, and then from human you have to aspire for higher and higher consciousness. So so these are 3 degrees of lust. And what is this nature of this lust? Lust is something you want to enjoy independent of Krishna, right? So what is the nature of this lust is, this lust will not be satisfied at all. You take anything, like like for example, you want to do something like anything, like maybe going out, or eating, drinking, or enjoying any kind of enjoyment which is not Krishna consciousness, or which is not done as, like for example, watching movies. If you think, okay, if I watch 10 movies or 100 movies, I will develop the renunciation in the watching movies. So you can continuously sit and watch 100 movies, and you will temporarily get what you call frustration. Oh, now I will not watch for you'll get some kind of fatigue. But after giving a break for 1 week, and after 10 days, again your desire will develop. Oh, now you are feeling bored, let us watch movies. Like, means I'm just giving it as an example. There are many things, there are many ways of enjoyment. Like maybe it can be either accumulating money, or accumulating wealth, or controlling over other persons, or anything, or eating different foodstuffs, or enjoying going to different places. So anything that is not in line, that is not done as a service to Krishna, is like it is like a fire. So if you think that by putting more and more objects of sense gratification, you can be able to come out of it, it is ignorance, because it will never be satisfied. The more you feed to it, it is like adding fuel to the fire. The more you, for example, somebody who is slowly getting addicted to drugs. Okay, you give him little bit of drugs in the beginning, and he will aspire for more and more. As you keep on giving, his sensitivity to that degree, means, like for example, that person takes 1 gram of drug in a week or so, and after a few days, even the drinking alcohol, if somebody takes 1 peg of alcohol for 1 night, and as the time passes, his sensitivity will go down. Means he has to increase his dosage, like right, how Michael Jackson died, he increased the dosage of his sleeping pills. So that means addictions, means lust, the things that are not done in service of Krishna consciousness. If we keep doing that, as the time passes, as we do that more and more, It will increase only, but it's not going to decrease. So the best way to control is, like, now know that it is never satisfied. Lust can never be satisfied. So stop feeding. Yes, like for example, you have the habit of, for example, watching movies. Like you watch 2 movies a day. If you are in addiction level, then you regulate it. Okay, I should watch only 1 movie a day, and then regulate after some time. You regulate more. Like I should watch like 2 movies in a week, like or weekly a movie, and then finally once in a month, once in 2 months, once in 6 months, like that. I'm just giving the movies as an example. So it can be any habit, any bad habit that you want to break. You don't have to break all of a sudden. That's why Krishna says, don't give up your karma all of a sudden, because if you give up your karma all of a sudden, you will not be able to handle that stress. It will pull and it will indulge in more and more. It's just like fasting. Somebody who doesn't have the habit of fasting, they will out of josh, out of their enthusiasm, they fast like 1-2 days out straight, and then 3rd day they will cover all 4 days. Means you have to have proper regulation to come out of any habit. Or if you want to cultivate a new good habit, you should have a proper cultivation, proper association, so that you will be able to easily come out of that thing. So when easiest way to overcome the lust is to regulate it. Means, like for example, eat only Krishna Prasad, like eat only within what is, don't eat anything and everything, like that. Eating, sleeping means, or don't go out of marriage for association with opposite persons, and also defending all those things. They keep rules and regulations. These regulations are the things which will develop our consciousness in a gradual manner, so that you will be able to develop yourself on a strong foundation. You will not be your chances, when you develop yourself like that, your chances of falling down are lesser, because you have already gone through that phase, and you know how to overcome again. So but if you think that an advancement of material civilization based on sense gratification means increasing our duration of life, but if somebody may say, okay, what is the problem? I want to enjoy, and I have the resources, and I have the friends who can support me. What is the problem? There is no problem. If it is not causing any problem to others, if it is legal. But if what the main problem is, our duration in this material existence will keep on increasing, because when we do something, when we enjoy, see, the enjoying nature is there within us. We can never give up this enjoying tendency, because nature of the soul is to enjoy. Anandamaya Abhyasa. Soul is always seeking for pleasure. Basically, it used to get that pleasure in the association of Krishna in the spiritual world. But when we are missing that association, when we are getting that pleasure of associating with Krishna in the spiritual world, we are looking for the same pleasure in this material world by associating with the matter, or by associating with the material things. So means that looking for pleasure is never going to give up, never going to go away. It is because it is our nature, because it's water cannot give up its tendency to be liquidy, right? Salt cannot give up its saltiness. In the same way, the soul cannot give its tendency to look for pleasure. So this looking for pleasure tendency is always there in the soul. It can never go away. But only you have to do is, you seek pleasure in Krishna consciousness, which are not actually binding us to this material nature. If you seek pleasure in doing service to Krishna, means service to Krishna means not laboring, okay? Not shrama, ashrama. Ashrama means not hard labor, okay? Means like how we consciously engage in Krishna conscious activities, doing whatever we are doing for the pleasure of Krishna, and nicely under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, dovetailing all our activities in the service of Krishna. That is acting in Krishna consciousness. Means seeking pleasure, being satisfied with whatever pleasure we are getting in through the Krishna consciousness. Basically, initially, we may not give this, we may not be able to derive that tamasic pleasures. You know, like if you drink a bottle of alcohol, you get some kind of intoxication. But when you start up spiritual life, you will not feel such a kind of rush in your body. It will, the spiritual thing, spiritual happiness will come gradually. As you keep on practicing, as you keep on progressing, it will keep coming. Like Rupa Goswami says, if he just by uttering the one name of Krishna, he will derive so much pleasure that he aspires for thousands of tongues and thousands of years to, you know, to do that. Means that kind of advancement. Means I said, right, Nama Rupa Guna Leela, Shravanam Kirtanam, doing that, they can derive so much pleasure. So the spiritual pleasures are, looks like, you know, like in the later chapters, Krishna says, it is bitter in the beginning, but nectar in the end. But material pleasures are nectar in the beginning, but bitter at, but the poison in the end. Okay. So like that, these material pleasures can be like that. And what is the root cause? That lust. Lust will drag us into this metal plane. And when we identified what is the real enemy, the lust, and where this enemy is sitting. Okay, I have to go get the charger. Just a minute. So we have discussed until now how Krishna says lust is the formidable enemy of every living entity. And then here, in this verse, in the verse number 40, Krishna says, what are the location? Because see, until now we identify what is the enemy, what is our enemy, that is lust. And then, like now, if you want to conquer an enemy, you have to know its locations. You have to have a plan how to conquer it. Okay. So now Krishna is saying, what are the sitting places of this lust? Okay. So Krishna says, lust is situated in the senses. Like we have 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, right? Especially the knowledge acquiring senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, all those knowledge acquiring senses. Those are the jnanendriyas. And karmendriyas are 2 hands, 2 legs, anus, and then genitals, and then like that. So 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, and 1 mind. So the last is a sitting place for the senses. Means the objects of senses will get attracted to the objects of sense gratification. Eyes want to see something which is pleasing to us, which is pleasing to the mind, and ears want to listen something which is like pleasing to ego and the mind, like that. That is the places of sitting place of the lust. And mind and intelligence. So mind is now, as previously discussed, a repository of the experiences. Whatever the experiences we have got so far, mind will store, and mind will keep demanding. And the intelligence has a role to play. So intelligence has a discriminative power. If the intelligence is stronger, it can actually control the mind. It can actually know how to control the senses. But due to our conditioning, but if you willingly disobey the intelligence advice in the beginning, intelligence will stop taking action, and intelligence will also become what you call, there is a sentence, it will become overcome by the lust. So instead of knowing what to do and what not to do, intelligence will also plan how to execute, how to get this objects of sense gratification, means how to fulfill its desire. Like for example, if somebody is in need of money and he goes out and sees a shop and he says, oh, this shop I can steal from here. The intelligence says, oh, no, stealing is very bad. No, like see, like you will get into a lot of problems. No? So intelligence may advise like that. But if that person comes, no, we can escape, we can be happy, but somehow get trapped to that thing and get addicted to stealing, then intelligence will assist him in the stealing. intelligence will assist him in enjoying the objects of sense gratification. Means the mind, intelligence, and senses are the sitting place of the lust. So when the intelligence is bewildered, then it will generate ego. You know, ego. Mother, you can close it. Sorry, I forgot. It will generate ego. Means like you got addicted to enjoying something. Like you are the best performer of any singing, or no, you are the best programmer, you are the best leader, manager, or you are the most beautiful person. That kind of position you started enjoying it, and your intelligence will develop, assist you in developing ego, means identifying with that position. That then you will develop ego. Like, you know, if you see in the most of the cases, the problems in this world are in this world or in any system are mostly due to the somebody hurting others' egos. Means the people have so much of ego, like they are not able to tolerate even something which is not even in the existence. For example, like now some ism, like nationalism, secularism, like some identification on that level of, on the mental level. So this due to this sense gratification, due to the development of intelligence, development of ego, and due to the mind and senses, these are the sitting places of the lust. So lust means which you want to, which helps you to enjoy independent of Krishna. So these are the strategic positions of the body where the lust is there. And lusty intelligence influences the soul to acquire the false ego and identify itself with the matter. So somebody identifying himself, I'm not the soul, I'm the body. This body is myself. Anybody offending this body is offending me. And anybody, because this body is born in certain family or certain nation, or I'm certain race, or I'm certain gender. So that gender or that certain race, certain nation or certain family is great. Why? Because this body took birth in that family or in that nation. So that is on the level of ego, that if the intelligence is bewildered, it will lead to the ego. If the intelligence is proper, it will lead to the jnana. What is jnana? Jnana means knowledge of the self as distinguished as non-self. Means you should know what is self and what is not self. What is self means? Self means the soul. You know what is, who are you, and who you are not. You are not this body, you are a spirit soul, and you as a spirit soul has only one relation with Krishna. All these external factors that can be family, nation, race, gender, everything came as a part of our karma. Due to our previous karma, we have to go through some happy and distressful situation in this body, in these present circumstances, in this position that is given to us as a member of family, as a member of nation, as a member of community. We will be entitled to certain pleasures and certain pains, certain comforts and certain discomforts. So as a part of our karma, we have acquired this position. But when we identify ourselves with that position, we will be using our entire life in supporting that false propaganda. So that's why jnana means knowing what we really are, and vijnana means specific knowledge of the spirit soul, constitutional position, and its relationship with the supreme soul. Means you know that you are not this body, you are a spirit soul, that is jnana. And vijnana means you know that you are the part and parcel of Krishna, and you should know how to engage everything in the service of Krishna. That is vijnana. So this is learning Krishna consciousness means by implementing by knowing how to engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness, so that we will act on that level of vijnana. So that way we can get out of this lustful act tendencies. Krishna conscious education from the very beginning prevents that natural love from deteriorating into lust. What is all this struggle? What is deity puja? What is service to deities? Why this chanting? Why these rules and regulations? All those things are only to prevent us from degrading more and more. And improving and more improving our consciousness to become more and more Krishna conscious and to advance in spirituality. That way, we'll be able to know, like, know what is permanent, what is temporary, what is everlasting, what is flickering, what is the real happiness, what is real distress. In fact, unless we experience the spiritual happiness, we are actually not experiencing any happiness at all. The material happiness, as I told, it's only the cause of suffering. The more you get addicted to material happiness, the more it will make you more and more miserable, because you keep expecting the same kind of happiness again and again. And when you have expectations, more and more expectations, you are not satisfied with whatever you have, then you will be always in anxiety and you will not be happy at all. So, and this, okay, we know what is our enemy and we know where this enemy resides. Now, how to conquer this enemy? You are right. Like if the enemy is there, enemy has a nice fort and nice, like nice set borders, nice well protected borders. But our goal is to conquer that enemy. Then how to conquer that enemy? So where to start conquering? We have to know. So that our enemy lust is seated in the intelligence level, on the level of ego, on the level of mind, and senses are its doors of the body. So I will tell you one nice story. Actually, like Chandragupta, like Chanakya Chandragupta, right? So Chanakya, he wanted to defeat this Nandas, and like he actually this Chandragupta trained, like like basically Nandas insulted Chanakya, who was a Brahmana, and Chanakya has made the promise, like pratigna, that I will defeat you, Nandas. I will destroy your kingdom only. So Chanakya comes and he sees a village boy, and he says, and tells, I will make this village boy into like because he's obedient to me, I'll make him the king of this Nanda dynasty. So he actually recruits some warriors here and there, and then after they got good in number, they go directly and attack the capital of the Nandas. At that point of time, this Nandas only, right? They have that good army. So they have this well-organized army. This the Nandas. So they actually defeated the army of this Chanakya and Chandragupta, and they fled into different parts. So then they were in incognito, means Chanakya, Chandragupta, they were incognito, and they were walking outside a village, and like now they goes to they are sitting beside a house, and in that house one mother serves the hot food in the plate of a child. So, and this child, what does he do? He goes directly, puts his finger in the middle and burns all his fingers. And this mother from the house says, hey, you are acting like a foolish Chanakya. Like you don't know how to eat the hot food. When the food is hot, you have to eat from the side, little by little by little, so that you will be able to taste it, and also as you keep eating it, the food will become cooler. So what is the lesson from the Chanakya got is, I should not target the main capital at once. I should start from the borders. So he comes back, and he again forms the army again, and he gives small assignments to the villagers. You go and defeat that village, or you go and plunder, like you go and destroy this army post there, like small things, small assignments, so that all these newly recruited army men, they get trained to fight, to kill, to know the tactics. And then when they got enough strength, by the time the Nandas become weaker and weaker, because they are attacking through the boundaries, different boundaries. So because they are not able to focus where to focus, they are not able to know where to focus, because they have been attacking different small portions. So finally, this this Chanakya Chandragupta's army got so much power and confidence that they finally took the army and won the battle. So that way means what is the lesson from there? We should not directly go on controlling the mind, controlling the ego. No, those are very powerful. We cannot control them in 1 day or 2 days, even months or years also. Controlling the mind, controlling the ego, controlling the intelligence is very difficult task. What we have to do is start with the senses. Senses are comparatively weaker than mind and intelligence. So you feed only Krishna conscious things to the senses. You engage your senses in Krishna conscious service. So like that, you gradually make the senses more and more Krishna conscious. So over a period of time, due to this proper engagement, the mind and the intelligence will get used to the Krishna conscious thing. Means the lust in the mind and intelligence will gradually fade off. And it will be easy for us to get a grip on the mind and intelligence. Following, right? I hope I'm not boring you.
No.
Yeah. So that's why this is the order in which he gave, Krishna gave. No, first you conquer the senses, then mind, then intelligence. Then the soul is the highest. Means when you engage your soul in Krishna conscious, then everybody is subordinate. Means senses are lower compared to the mind. Mind is lower compared to the intelligence, and intelligence is lower compared to the soul. So when you are able to conquer the soul, and you are able to make your soul fully Krishna conscious, means you are already defeated all the previous things. Okay, nice strategic plan, right? Okay. So, and what should be our commitment in conquering lust? So study the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, and knowing oneself to the transcendental, to the material senses, mind, intelligence. We should know that we should not identify with our mind, we should not identify with our senses. The sensual pleasure is not our pleasure, it is the pleasure of the sense only. We should not identify somebody pleases our mind, it is only the mind, not the soul. Okay, so we should know that by deliberate spiritual intelligence, knowing that oneself to be higher than, means transcendental to the material senses, mind and intelligence. Thus, by spiritual strength, conquer the enemy known as lust. Okay, so images of lust arises from the mind and attacks the intelligence. So if the intelligence is defeated, then again intelligence will become subordinate to the mind, and it will try to fulfill the desires of the mind. So we should not let our intelligence to be defeated. So that is a higher level. So first, whatever we have to do is, with determination, we have to engage our senses in Krishna consciousness. So that is the end of this chapter, and the essence of this chapter is, Krishna says, do not give up your prescribed duty suddenly. And Krishna says, no, try to work in a manner not expecting any results. And then Krishna says how the greatest enemy of the soul is lust, and what are the positions which soul lust resides, and how to conquer the lust in a gradual manner by regulating. Means first of all, we start with engaging our senses in a regulative manner. Means, see, we should not pressurize our senses all suddenly. If you are any habit, like as I said, watching movies, like that, you have to regulate it first, gradually come down, so that at you as the time passes, and you are positively engaged in Krishna conscious activities, but gradually regulating the your entanglement in other areas, then you will be able to overcome easily on the both ends. So that way, and what is the immature state is, when one is immature, the philosophical speculations or artificial attempts to control the senses by yoga fails to help. Means, like if you see some yogis, somebody promises you, okay, you come to us and pay some money, you sit here and meditate, I will experience the light or anything like that, they'll promise. Those are all artificial and cheating propensities only. Because controlling the mind, controlling the intelligence is a very high thing. It requires a strategic plan. And what is the recommendation is, one must be trained in Krishna consciousness by higher intelligence means somebody you should take, like we should refer to the Shastras, like Bhagavad Gita as it is, and like, like Acharyas, like Prabhupada, some spiritual master, gurus who have maturity in training, who knows what to do, and when to do, and that is recommended. Like, we have the material duties, we have spiritual duties. So material duties also have to be engaged in Krishna conscious way. You are, as far as now, as much as possible, you have to engage our intelligence. And if you are doubtful how, not know how to engage that activity in Krishna conscious, you can take advice from someone who has experience, means somebody who has more knowledge on that area, through a guru or not, to contacting him. And spiritual duties, we have to we must try to follow the spiritual duties also. So the both spiritual duties and material duties has to be followed side by side. Then only we'll attain success and will be, nicely balanced in all circumstances. Okay, we'll end it here. Anybody have any questions on this? Sorry, a little longer today.
Prabhuji, I have one question.
Yes, Mataji.
So, when you get birth, you have your soul and intelligent level. So, intelligent level is connected with Swabhava, or is it an outcome of mind?
Intelligence is based on. Can you repeat that question? Intelligence, Swabhava, you said, right?
Yeah, is it? It's connected with Swabhava, as we talked. Like when you die, your Swabhava goes with your Swabhava goes with your soul, right?
Yeah, the subtle body, not Swabhava. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
actually,
subtle
the
body.
tendency is intelligence can be trained, Mataji. Intelligence can be changed.
Changed,
It is not
okay.
like, no, it is not permanent. Subtle body, the mind, intelligence, and ego are every time they are changing.
Okay.
Like that's why if you do some positive act, immediately you can see a lot of transformation in your mind, in your ego, in your intelligence also. So the subtle body is constantly changing, but at the time of death, what type of subtle body you have acquired, based on that you will get next body.
Okay, so next birth, the body will be with a soul, but the intelligent level again will be changed as the circumstances changes around you,
No, so,
or how you train.
how you react to, how you handle how you acted in the certain circumstances. See, circumstances comes based on our karma. There's like
Right.
circumstances, how our karma will result in circumstances. How much education you have to get, how much what type of family you will take birth, and what type of beauty, what type of prosperity you get, what type of physical and mental abilities you get. Those are all the results of karma. Okay, and
Right.
how you react to them will decide the transformation in the subtle body.
Right.
And the subtle
Right.
body is always changing, as I said, but this conditioning is
Right.
there, because the more you do right thing, the more it gets purified faster and faster.
Right. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
You are asking some question.
This thing is Indriyas same as senses?
Yeah, Indriyas and senses same. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anybody have any more questions? We'll end it here. Randra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.